What's going on, people? What's going on? It is going down on a Tuesday evening. This is your boy, Raashaan Myers, joined by the architect himself, Haven Harrington. And it is Wake Up 502 After Dark. Certainly, we will be joined by Roman Kelly as well as we kind of wrap you and close the book on James Madison, give you thoughts on the game, what we saw, what we liked, what we didn't like, and get Haven's thoughts on James Madison being maybe the whiniest fan base in the history of any Louisville opponent ever. Like I've always hated Western Kentucky, even though I attended WKU, for the way they handled any time they played Louisville in anything. James Madison may have just moved up the chart, so we'll have to get into that. We're of course also going to announce this week's winner of the Wake Up 502, that boy's good player of the week. We will give that information out as well. So, Haven, we got a lot to get into, man. How you doing on this Tuesday evening, brother?
Man, I'm doing real good. I'm doing real good, Rashawn. Man, I'm excited to talk about everything that is JMU, the game. But I'm also more excited to announce that Wake Up 502 is now part of the Kentucky Sports.tv network. All of our radio shows that broadcast on YouTube, you can go to Kentucky Sports, KY Sports.tv, and watch it there. And also, if you watch right now, like my good friend Roddy's checking in, hey, don't forget, like and subscribe the video, please. Thank you very much.
Absolutely, absolutely. Continue to like, continue to subscribe, check us out. Of course, for all of the folks joining us on Facebook, YouTube, X, please feel free to shoot us any questions, thoughts on anything that we bring up. We love to be the most interactive show. On radio and on social media, on live or whatever. We like to. We are for the people, by the people. So, please, please, please send us all those messages. We definitely appreciate your support. And, we want to just continue to bring you quality content, in every way that we can. We'll, of course, be getting out on the road and doing some things as we always do. Of course, University of Louisville was nice enough to give us basically a built in preseason this year. So don't have to worry about any pesky, plans to go out on, Labor Day doing any Labor Day travels this year, Haven. But let me just ask you, before we kind of get into what we saw on Friday night. Do you like to me? This is almost the NFL teams play three preseason games before they get the regular season started, and this kind of breaks out kind of like a pseudo preseason. Do you like the fact that Louisville gets their three kind of quote unquote tune up games before they get into ACC play?
I don't mind the tune up games. What I don't like about this year's schedule in particular is having the bye week so soon.
Yeah,
Uh, I prefer a little bit later in the season, but it is what it is. But I kind of like the tune up games. It kind of gives you a chance to see what your team's weaknesses are and deficiencies are, work on them and fix them before it counts. Well,
yeah.
all games count, but before
Before it,
conference
it
season,
can
yeah.
bite you. Yeah. Yeah, and especially because conference games by far, especially in this automatic bid era of the college football playoff, the most important games by far are your conference games because even if you have a slip up or two during the non-conference play, if you go out there and win your conference, you're going to be in anyway. So by far the conference games are the most important. So I like it. I think that especially given the fact that rosters are so new now in college football every year. And I think we've seen that play out across college football. Teams don't have their fastball the first week of the season normally. Normally, even when it's two good teams, they usually end up being ugly, ugly games. And I think that that's played out all over the country, where teams that even are expected to be really, really good don't look great. I mean, that Texas Ohio State game, I know you can talk about one versus two, one versus three, whatever they want to call it. That game was dog ugly for about 3 quarters.
But those guys were rusty. They spent all off season, just hitting against themselves. The first live action against talent, and you could tell they were just kind of they were kind of rusty. They were off. They haven't gotten into that game speed yet. They haven't kind of got up to speed, and it showed. And you saw that with a lot of teams and a lot
Yeah.
of games.
Yeah, no, I mean totally. I mean that's the whole thing, right? Is that when you kind of have some early season games where it's not necessarily going to bite you in the butt, that you can maybe have those missteps or those slip ups, or still trying to the offensive line trying to figure out how to work together with its new pieces. If you have new quarterbacks, like Louisville's brought in transfer quarterbacks each of the last 3 seasons under Jeff Brom, so those quarterbacks getting to learn their receivers getting to learn the quarterbacks. There's a lot that goes into that. I mean, when you look at a guy like Chris Bell's had 3 quarterbacks in 3 different years. And every quarterback that throws a football, it's like their own specific fingerprint. Every quarterback has different arm angles, velocity, the way the balls come in. They have to learn where Chris likes to get the football, what are his favorite routes. So I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, Haven, that, I think that now backfilling a schedule, where you maybe have a game or two that you can kind of have to get better, maybe works out better for you because I mean, if you're a Florida or you're a Boise State, and apparently James Madison as well, all those teams that are crying because they say that they just weren't really ready to play yet.
I mean,
maybe they
I
maybe
mean,
they
like,
need a couple
okay,
tune
so about Florida crying about losing to South Florida.
ups.
Okay, now let's be honest. Only reason Florida was as ranked as high as they were is because it says Florida on the chest.
Yeah, I don't
Like,
know why Florida was ranked like number 13. That
I
was
mean, it's like what in the past, I don't know, decade has Florida done to warrant being ranked so high? I mean, last year they got dog walked like 5 or 6 times throughout the year. I mean,
yeah.
Miami literally just ran the score up on them and had to slow themselves down because it was scoring at will.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it why so many of those teams are ranked. I mean, and like I said, I hate to be kind of like the homer guy, but like there were several teams that were ranked in the initial top 25 poll that I'm like, why are these teams even ranked? Like that, like to me, I know Louisville has more talent than team A, B, C, and D and E. Like to me, there's no chance Nebraska's better than Louisville. Like I don't know
No.
why Nebraska's was ranked in the top 25. There's
Illinois.
several
Why is
teams.
Illinois
Boise
ranked?
State, Illinois. I know you hate Illinois, even though they did look decent on
No, they didn't. No, they
on,
didn't.
on Saturday.
You know what?
They did all
Duke
right.
Duke pulled a JMU.
They did. They
Duke
did.
straight pulled a JMU.
That's fair. But no, but not, like honestly, I mean, it does seem like I think that with so many transfers now, with the transfer portal being such a big part of it, especially in football, not so much in basketball because you only have 5 players on the court at any one time, and pretty much you're depending on 2 to 3 players to kind of be your go-to guys, and everybody else is role players, support guys. In football, it's got to be very difficult for a coach to field a brand new team. 40 or 50% of your team being brand new every year. Don't you think? I mean, it's the transfer portal is probably more impactful in football than basketball, wouldn't you think, Aben?
Yeah, it was way more impactful because, like you said, in basketball, you can just get one guy, maybe two guys. You could completely change the whole dynamic of your team and whole direction. In football, you're bringing in 15, 20, 30 guys. And you have to get all those guys on the same sheet of music, playing as a unit and coming together. And it's hard because you got guys come from completely different systems, completely different coaching staffs before, the way they were coached, the way they practice. You're bringing them into your system. So the first you have to learn a whole new terminology, a whole new defensive scheme, and how everything works. And offense is doing the same thing, learning brand new terminology, brand new defensive schemes. You have to learn the guys. They have to know, like, try to figure out what your guys like to do, what they don't like to do, what they're good at, what they don't good at. Like, what are their tails, what aren't their tails?
Yeah,
And you want to kind of get in that feel, that rhythm where you just know what this guy's going to do because I played with them so long, but now you don't have that continuity, right?
right.
You don't have that continuity where, like, I know what this guy's going to do because we played together for 3 years. So I know he sees what I see. so we can do X. And
Right.
you kind of just don't have that. It takes, and you saw it with Louisville last year. It took the offense 4 or 5 games last year to kind of really get in rhythm because you still had to learn that Cheney is slow as Christmas and can't run the ball, right?
Yeah. I
You
mean,
know,
honestly, both
you had to
years
learn those things.
With Plummer and with Shuck, it took them till about game 3 or 4, maybe even game 5 before they found any rhythm, offensively. I mean, so I think that's definitely a valid point. I mean, to me, this is a brand new world, and I think that while I know they love these marquee Labor Day games, I don't know if I want to play a big time game that first week or two of the season because it may take me a while to figure out exactly what I have. Because I mean, you look at Louisville's defense. How many new players does Louisville have starting in the defense this year? Even like 7, 8, 9
Yeah, most of the
guys.
defense.
Like it's like, how do I know what these guys can do and how they're going to work together when everybody's so new? So it's very interesting, and I think that Louisville's schedule sets up. And I know, sorry, James Madison fans, but I love playing a JMU early where I don't have to have my fastball and I can still win the game. I know
So
James,
you,
I know James Madison thinks that they're the greatest ever, but I think if
so
we prove that out there Friday night, that Louisville didn't necessarily need their A game to beat that team.
well, so I understand where James Madison's coming from, right? And this is something we talked about like after the game. I understand where James Madison's coming from because it wasn't too long ago when Louisville was in Conference USA and we were the James Madisons. Like that was us not too long ago,
Yeah,
where you don't have the same depth as the power conference you're going against, but you got the top end starters, and you can play ones versus ones. You can
yes,
kind of match up, and they did match up for most of the game. But just like Duke against Illinois, James Madison had chances to make this a game, possibly completely change momentum and win, but you gotta finish. They didn't finish. When you're the underdog like that, you have to capitalize on every mistake because you're not good enough not to capitalize on mistake and still win. And
yeah.
they didn't capitalize on our mistakes, and it cost them the game.
I mean,
Like,
that's and honestly, Haven, like you're right. Like that's the difference between a Louisville and a JMU. Louisville, being a power conference team, having better depth, having more talent, Louisville doesn't need their fastball. They don't have to be playing at an A level. They can play at a C plus, which is about where I gave them for the game. Was probably about a C plus, and still win that game. But if you're JMU, you can't be a B or a B minus and win. You've got to pretty much be at least a B plus, if not an A minus, to be able to have a shot. Don't you think?
yeah, you have to, but you have to capitalize. You have to capitalize on those mistakes, the term momentum. Prime example, my man Anthony Easton said in the chat, right? When the Florida hasn't been the same since we punked about in the Sugar Bowl. That pick six to start the Sugar Bowl set it off. That set the Sugar Bowl off. I was there. That is the loudest I've ever heard any U of L game, and that includes the 2013 national championship game. It was not louder than the Sugar Bowl when we converted that pick six. The first play of the game, we housed it, and from that point on, we knew it was over. The game was over, right?
Yeah. No,
And
you're
they
right.
had a chance to do that. They had it. JMU
You were in
had
the
that
building for
chance.
that one, weren't you, Haven?
What you say?
So were
Yeah, I
you were in
was
the building
there.
for that? You was
I
there.
was
He was in the
there.
building for that one.
Yeah, it was the loudest I've ever heard any U of L game, basketball or football. Period. And once we housed that open interception, the game was over. We knew
Yeah.
Florida was done. We had like Shang Tsung in Mortal Kombat, your soul is mine, and snatched it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
JMU had that chance. Very first play of the game, the trickeration, the halfback wide receiver option. Dude was by himself running down the field, nobody within 30 yards of him, and they throw the ball to bounds. He was by himself. He would have walked it. If the pass was anywhere near him, he would have walked into the end zone. They start 7-0. with the big play, we're kind of shook. What's going on? Cardinal, L&M Stadium is quiet. It's a whole different game.
Yeah.
Then Miller Moss gives them a pick six.
Yeah.
He stares the wide receiver screen down. He even pump fake to give the guy a chance to jump it,
Literally pump faked.
to give the guy a chance to jump the route, and he jumped the route. An easy pick six. The ball is dropped. You house that. All of a sudden, looking at Louisville's down 21-7 at that point, and then at 21-7, that's a completely different game.
Yeah.
That is a completely different ball game and a very, very at that point winnable game from JMU. But you don't capitalize on that, and you lost. It is what it is. You can't be mad. You cannot be mad. You can't whine. You can't cry. You can't say it was a better team. You had your chances and you didn't do it. Just like Duke completely outplayed Illinois that first half. Completely outplayed Illinois that first half. Illinois at the end of the first quarter had like -7 yards offense.
Yeah.
Duke's defense was killing them. But what killed Duke? Three turnovers.
Yeah.
Three
Hey,
turnovers.
I mean, and they have Darian Mensah down there, and
Yeah.
Darian Mensah comes in as a transfer. He's not necessarily, as comfortable as he will be, and I think that definitely all these teams, JMU included, with so many transfers, with so many moving parts, with so many new guys. I mean, to me, I thought Sluka was the better of the two quarterbacks, but it seems like the coach really doesn't want Sluka throwing the football, which is a whole different other question. I feel like they need to just kind of give the keys to him and, figure out how to make him a complete quarterback. And he only threw the ball 5 times against Louisville on Friday night. And I thought that, he at least has potential. Like Barnett just, I don't know what it was about that dude, but let's get into it. First of all, shout out to Robbie checking in. He did say he didn't mind the bye week at all. We have a lot to fix before Bowling Green, and I totally agree with that. There's definitely a lot of
Oh, a
things,
ton to fix.
a lot to fix. But Haven, I don't want you to get into the fixes until we get back to Friday night. So of course, Friday night, L&N Stadium. We're in the building. We got there just in time. We got some of the good media food. We got to sit down, watch the game. JMU people came in. From what I heard JMU travels. I heard that JMU has this great fan base. Haven, it looked like
There's like 13 folks out there.
it was not. I mean, they had a little purple in there, but like people were hyping it up like this team. This is a team from Virginia. They aren't that far. They have this burgeoning fan base. It's like big time. Man, them people they took up like 10 rows, maybe.
I
It
mean,
was.
but you know what? I'll give JMU credit. They came in hype. They were
They did.
energized.
They
They
did.
had they had a great game plan, and they executed their game plan to
That
the
first
best
play.
of
That
they
first. That
ex, they executed their game plan to the
yeah.
best of their little JMU abilities.
You just gave them a head pat.
I
You
did.
do it. I mean, look, they had opportunity. They had opportunity. That first play call was perfect with the Louisville defense that comes in kind of keyed up a little bit. The safety gets caught looking in the backfield. They do the wide receiver pass, kick it back, kick it over and throw it down the field. Like you said, if you are the little brother, if you're the David in this David versus Goliath scenario, you
You
got to
gotta
make the
hit.
play. Dude threw the ball out of bounds. Like that was one of the
It
worst
wasn't even
wide receivers.
close.
That was one
It
of the
wasn't
worst
even
wide receiver
close.
passes I've ever seen. He threw the ball, and the guy didn't have anybody within 20 yards of him. So, like, literally, you could have just softly threw it out there, and even if he gets caught from behind, at least you're into, scoring. You're in the field position to score.
I don't
But
think we would have got caught from behind. Like if he had to come to a complete stop to catch the ball, we weren't
yeah,
going
he
to
still
catch
may have
him.
scored. Yeah,
He
I
still would have
mean,
scored because we were still like a good 20 yards, like nobody within 20 yards of him in any direction.
yeah, no, I mean, so like for me, that's the first thing where I'm saying, bro, you can't talk when your wide receiver threw the ball out of bounds. Like that's just I don't know if I've ever seen the wide receiver unless it's like the wide receiver's throwing it out of bounds because there's no one there. They're close to the end zone. The play's blown up. I'm just going to get rid of it. But I've never seen you're on the 30-yard line and your guy is straight down the field and you throw the ball 5 yards out of bounds.
And
I've
to make it worse, the
I've
wide
never
receiver
seen that.
wasn't even pressured.
No,
Like we had no pressure on him. He could have stood back there, set his feet, pump fake, did his taxes, gone to H&R Block, come back, deposited his return, and then threw the ball, and the dude still would have been open.
yeah, look, they had their shot with that play. That did not work. And after that, JMU only goes on to have one scoring drive in the first half, and that was gifted because Jeff Brom goes for it on 4th and 3, I believe, fourth and two,
Fourth
fourth
and
and three
three.
from the 38-yard line, their own 38. Louisville turns over. No, it was fourth and 1.5 is what it was. I remember because he goes to shotgun and tries to run Isaac Brown right up the middle. What did you think about that shotgun? Like, to me, Haven, I hate shotgun for short yardage. Like,
So the thing that annoyed me about this whole thing is that you saw what JMU was obviously doing. They was going zero coverage. They were selling out to stop the run. They had like 8 men in a box, and we still try to run it right up the gut. Like, what were you thinking? This is almost as criminal as Jim Harbaugh in the fourth quarter trying to run the clock out to beat the Bills. And what
yeah,
does he do? There's like 12 men on the line of scrimmage, and he just goes three straight running plays and punts. Like, what are you doing?
yeah,
Like, what are you doing? And okay, so maybe the first time, maybe, but then when you see over and over and over again these large 7, 8 man fronts, no, you gotta make adjustments, and it seems like we just especially in the first half, we never really made those adjustments. We just kept doing a vanilla offense. It looked like Jeff really didn't want to show a whole lot, so he just kept to this vanilla offense regardless of what was going on. And what was going on is his offensive line was getting ate up.
yeah,
They were just getting ate up. I mean, JMU's penetration, they were in the backfield literally almost every time we snapped the ball.
yeah.
They had
Like,
a free
literally.
rusher. And JMU is their defense is not they have a very fast defense. They're not slow. This is a fast team. And they really utilized their speed and blitzes, and they attacked all the gaps. It was like a horrible play calling by Jeff Brom in the first half. Really stunted what our offense can do, like really neutered our offense, I thought.
Yeah. No, it was definitely a situation. And the thing I thought about, and I came to this thought today, Haven, about this whole thing. So Jeff Brom's play calling was awful. Like it was the perfect match to make JMU's defensive game plan work perfectly. They decided to go with a lot of power running, kind of slow developing run plays, and these deep pass patterns where you have maybe three guys in a pass pattern, but everything is way down the field. So with JMU running this pressure package where pretty much they had a free rusher almost every snap, somebody got through untouched to get to the running back or to get to the quarterback. So when you have all these slow developing plays, what ends up happening is Miller Moss is running for his life. So I'm thinking, okay, so week one, Jeff Brom has this game plan where, hey, we're gonna let Miller Moss air it out. We're gonna have a bunch of quick passes. We're gonna get him comfortable. I wonder, Haven, and you have to tell me your thoughts on this. Was this a situation where Jeff Brom was like, okay, we're just gonna throw this little game plan together to get Miller some confidence, but now in week two, this is what our real game plan is gonna be. We're gonna be this power, physical, downfield play action team, like, or do you think this was just something specific for James Madison? That's what I'm trying to figure out, is if Jeff Brom really thinks that that was going to be the identity of this team.
That what, I don't think he really had a specific game plan for James Madison.
Okay.
I think he was keeping it kind of vanilla in general and running kind of like a general offense, thinking that I got more talent than them.
Okay.
I have
Just
all
kind of
this
go
talent,
basic.
offense, defense. I have the best running back, arguably the best running back in college football, if not the best running back room in college football. I can afford to be kind of conservative and run a standard offense, and we should be okay, and we should score enough points to win because it's James Madison. And I think that was his mindset. And I think he was thinking after EKU game, I can see what Miller Moss can do. I'm comfortable in what we're doing. We should have more enough talent. Offensive line should be able to hold up, and we should be okay because of James Madison. I think Jeff
So
just
is it a little disrespectful to James Madison? Like
yes.
didn't really just respect their team and their talent.
So here's the thing, right? So every year so far since Jeff has been here, this is just his third year. We've lost to the worst team in the ACC every year,
Yeah.
without fail. And I think this is some of it. I think it's good to have that machismo and then arrogance, and then thinking, okay, we got this, but then don't really game plan for it. And when things start to turn, it's hard to kind of put the momentum back in the bottle and change it. Lucky for us against JMU, they couldn't take advantage of things that would have created that momentum that would have been hard to turn, right? Like if they complete the first play of the game and got that touchdown, they'll build a momentum. They get that pick six, they got the momentum, and then it's a
Hmm.
completely different game. But they were never able to get that momentum going.
Yeah.
So I think that bailed Jeff's lack of a game plan out and kind of playing that conservative ball that he was playing, and he played it the whole game. He didn't really switch up, even in the second half. But we kind of went on a scoring run. He switched up a little bit, but not really a lot.
Yeah. Well, what do you think about Robbie's comment there? He said, "I looked at the line of scrimmage and said to myself, those dudes are bigger than us." What do you think about the JMU defensive line? Like, I've heard a lot of people that were very complimentary of them. What did you think about the JMU defensive line?
I mean, they have a couple of transfers from some other schools. I think they have a transfer from Coastal Carolina as well on their defensive line, if I'm not mistaken. Um,
Okay.
So there's some big guys there, and they had solid D1 level talent on their defensive line, but they were very smart in how they used their defensive line to kind of open up gaps for their speedy linebackers and safeties who are really fast to kind of shoot those gaps. So
Yeah.
it was a great defensive plan by Jamie, and I had to give a pat on the back right here. I'm gonna give him two. That was a great defensive effort. They wanted to shut down a run, and for the most part, they did.
Hey, the one thing I said about this Haven, and this is the one thing that came off and jumped off the film when I watched them even against Weber State. The one thing I knew about JMU, they have speed. They have a team that has a lot of speed, and I'm not talking about speed for a Group of Five team. I'm talking about speed for anybody. They have a very fast defense. They have a very athletic defense, and they have very fast guys on offense. The biggest thing about both on both sides is you have to understand how to control and contain that speed. And I think that, like you said, it felt like Louisville disrespected JMU a little bit. They did not go out there and prepare for them with the level of care and concern that I feel like they should have. That's why, a lot of people have been on Miller Moss in this game. A lot of people have been on the offensive line in this game. I think that there were definitely some questions with some substitutions defensively that people have an issue with. But for the most part, I'm almost giving everybody involved a pass because of just what you said. I don't know how seriously Louisville took this challenge, and I don't know if they came out there and had their best level of preparedness. So I want to see what they're going to look like when they come out there against Bowling Green. Now they could, because Bowling Green is not as good a team as JMU. Maybe Louisville comes out there and once again just throws anything out there because they think they can just stroll in there and beat Bowling Green. But do you think after the scare this past week that Louisville's going to prepare a little bit better for Bowling Green?
I think they'll prepare because JMU exposed a couple of things on Louisville's offense.
Yeah,
and expose some weaknesses, and especially expose Miller Moss's weaknesses, because that dude was seeing ghosts.
yeah,
He was seeing a lot of ghosts, and it didn't take, if I'm Miami, if I'm Clemson, if I'm Pitt or any other ACC school, I'm thinking to myself, it doesn't take much to rattle Miller Moss. If you
yeah.
blitz him a couple of times and hit him, you're going to rattle him
He
because
got
those
he got the happy feet. He definitely got the happy feet in that second half.
he got the
There were a
happy
lot of
feet.
times I noticed where the offensive line stood up and did a good job blocking, and it seemed like Miller was almost trying to escape the pocket way early before he needed to, or instead of trying to run outside the pocket, he could have just stepped up into the pocket and he would have been okay. Do you think that was kind of PTSD because of some of the issues he had at USC that just kind of showed themselves on Friday night?
I think that's some of it. I think some of it is the PTSD maybe from USC.
Yeah,
Um, I think he just really didn't see the field like we thought he would see the field. Like when he had that fumble, it was obvious that they had a free rusher coming from the right hand side of the
yeah.
defensive
You've
line,
got to see that. You've got to
and that's
feel that.
his that's his throwing side. He's that free rusher, and for him not to audible and shift the protection over or call in a quick screen to that side where that safety vacated on the safety blitz. Yeah, that's him. And,
Yeah.
it was obvious on a couple of plays, like you said before. There was a lot of times that ball was hiked. He was like 1,000, 2,000, and regardless what the pocket was like, he was gone. He wasn't running downfield. He was running the throw. But once he got outside his pocket, his accuracy just dropped. It really decreased when he was throwing on a run, and he wasn't accurate at all, rolling out and then trying to throw the ball. He's very much it was better when he sat in the pocket. But you have to find ways to calm Miller Moss down, and he's going to have to figure a way to kind of deal with this rush. Now, in a press box, we were like, if they don't blitz like that, then they need to, like I was like, hey, if they don't keep blitzing like that, go max protect,
Yeah.
go
Well,
max protect,
and I think
and utilize your tight ends over the middle.
and I think that right there, on both sides, I think that I agree with you. Definitely, there needed to be some schematic adjustments. But one of the things that it seems like Tyler Shuck was very comfortable with early on, even before the offense got really going. Um, I think that. Oh, and look who's joining us now. Look who's popping in, Haven Harrington.
Is that R. Kelly?
We got Romy Bean checking in, so he's hey, look at him, there he is.
What's going on, fellas? Can you hear me?
The, I can
Yeah,
hear
can you
you. You're
good?
coming in loud and clear, brother. It's kind of coming on in there, but
In the
to
mortal
finish.
words of South Park, cripple fight.
Are you ready to go under the knife tomorrow, Roman? Are you nervous yet?
And there he goes.
Go.
We
I look.
scared
I
him.
got him so scared he ran off.
You
Well, hey,
mossed him.
before we bring Romy Bean back in here, let me finish my point. What I was going to say was the one area and the one spot where I feel like Shuck was much more comfortable early on in the season was with audibling. With with being able to see see something pre-snap with the read defensively and going ahead and having the confidence to make that call to adjust the play, to adjust the protection. Like I feel like Miller Moss has those same abilities to make those adjustments. I just don't necessarily think he's comfortable with that yet. Does that
Well,
make sense?
the difference is with Shuck and Moss is that Shuck had played for like two or three different teams. One, he played 5 years more than than Moss did, but he
Yeah,
played for two or three different teams with
yeah.
two or three different completely offensive
That's
systems.
a good point. That's a good
So
point.
so so he had been used to learning new terminology, a new system, and things of that nature. Miller Moss has just been at USC.
Yeah.
has just been Lincoln Riley, and that's all he knows. This is his first time having to learn a new offense, learn a new scheme, learn it relatively quickly, and then like make it happen.
No, that's an excellent point because yeah, I can definitely see with Shuck having already been to Oregon, having already been to Texas Tech, having already made a couple of moves and had to learn from new guys that coming to Louisville, he's much more comfortable in that where this is the first time Moss had to leave. So no, I think that's a great point to that. And I think that's once again one of those things where it's good to have this kind of softer schedule to begin with because it does allow Miller a little bit more time to get comfortable in the system to where he's making those pre-snap reads because I think that was probably the biggest thing I noticed about him is he hardly ever audibled or said anything at the line. Pretty much he would look over to the side maybe and get some kind of check from the coach, but whatever was given to him, he never adjusted anything. He
Well,
pretty
this is
much was
also
just
good for the
hyping.
coaches to learn what Moss likes in game situations,
Yeah,
what Moss doesn't like in game situations, and how best we can call plays. Like, I'm still kind of skeptical of Miller Moss's deep ball.
yeah,
I don't think he throws a very good deep ball. I think when he's decisive and just lets it go, he throws a very good short to intermediate pass. Not a very good deep ball, but that's when he's decisive, when he just lets the ball go. Like on
We ain't seen
uh,
too many deep balls though, Haven.
yeah. I
there's a
mean,
reason
only
for that, and I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
you're
think he's
probably right.
comfortable. They've called him.
I mean, he threw a dot to Duke Watson in the first game. I mean, he only threw like three in that first game, and that one to Duke was perfect.
That was
Um,
Outside
perfect.
of outside of staying locked on to Meeks too long, he gave that
it was
safety the chance to
accurate.
make the play.
Yeah,
That was a dime too, fellas. But you're
yeah,
right, Haven. It's we don't know yet.
yeah.
Yeah, we
So
just don't know. So I don't think he's comfortable. I don't think this coaching staff really has yet to figure out Colin Lacey and how best to scheme Colin Lacey. It's either that or Colin Lacey is not the guy we thought he was. It's
well,
one of those two things.
and Roman, you can if you can you remember the things they said about Colin Lacey when he first got here. They were like that the where Colin Lacey excels in is maybe running that 5 yard in or that quick little kick out into the perimeter
The little
or
curl route, the curl,
curl
yeah.
route. He can get the ball in that phone booth and then make plays after the catch. But we haven't seen Louisville call like any of that at
I saw
all.
one against JMU, and it was on that slant, that quick slant, and he got it. He got open quick, and he caught it and went down and got the first down.
I
I
mean,
don't
it's
know, the
like
the quick hits to Colin Lacey aren't there enough. I feel like, and that's probably something to be
yeah.
said about the game planning and the play calling as well.
Yeah, yeah. So Roman, so you're just joining us. We were just kind of talking about some of our initial impressions and kind of some of the thoughts. We kind of have focused early on the offense. Kind of what were the things that you saw? You weren't in the press box with it. You were out there with the unwashed masses
Yeah,
for the game two. Like, what were your biggest impressions of the game from any of the perspectives? It can be just the game, the JMU fans, the team.
yeah.
Um, what you think?
I think the main thing I kept noticing was there was a level of predictable, like how the play calling was so predictable, and it was the first time I had really seen predictable play calling in the Jeff Brom era, if I'm being honest. I'm talking all four plays of the downs, you knew
Yeah.
what he was doing based on
Yeah.
what he did in the first down, obviously. But 1st and 10, you're running the ball. It's
What
Isaac
what what
Brown.
what do you think about that Satterfield set of plays? The very first possession, you go run right, super slow run play, and then predictable pass play on third down. Like,
Yeah, I didn't get that. I didn't get that. It's like you don't. It's like we're not trying to utilize our weapons at all costs. Is kind of what it feels like was happening out there. I think one of the main things I was noticing from the offense is that it wasn't taking what the defense was giving. The defense was giving you 5 to 10 yards of green space on the outside, left and right, every
yeah,
single play, running or passing.
yeah,
The one run play that worked, it went outside. Keywan Brown's one successful run, it was a major shift to the left with the line and everybody going towards the left. It wasn't an outside run, but it was a not a HB power down the middle to the left side. It was a full on directional left run with the O line. That he got 7 or 8 yards out of that, right?
Yeah.
We didn't utilize the speed in our play calling after you saw what JMU was doing. You don't believe JMU should have the ability to beat you regardless of how you want to play. Cool. I get it. I understand that. I agree, even. Winning the
Yeah.
football game is more important than playing how you want to play. I'm sorry. It is. And
Yeah.
they started to have a little bit more success with things that were naturally happening in the second half, on top of them sending 7 guys, not every single snap, right, JMU. So they kind of let up a little bit on the direct pressure. That helped us out a bit. And they ultimately just don't have the athletes that we've got. I think that you should have capitalized on that sooner. The amount of quick outs that we saw against EKU versus hardly none in the
Right.
James
At
Madison
all.
game.
It was a
And a lot of
completely
people,
different game plan.
I pointed this out earlier on the radio today. Someone else pointed out in private text with me.
Yeah.
They were draped all over us, right? You got to throw it to the guys that are getting draped if you really, really want them to blow that whistle. That's the game plan. It's that
Yeah.
Clemson game plan. Make these refs throw the flag, because no ref wants to be that guy that's throwing it every single time. No one does. No one wants to be
Yeah.
the ref in basketball who's blowing the whistle every single time. Rick
Right.
Pitino used to utilize that factor of what it means to be a ref. You've got to throw the ball to the guys that are getting draped. That's the only way you're going to get the flag calls. I think that they were purposely draped all over us, hands on us, pass interference as long as you can, basically, before it's blatantly obvious, and let right at the last second.
I mean, like to me, like even a running back screenplay where you take advantage. JMU wants to rush 6 or 7 guys. How about we snap it, let all those guys come in, and then we toss it right over their head
Exactly. With
to
the
Duke
running
or
backs, with
Isaac.
the,
Yeah.
send Isaac out left, send Isaac out right. Um, I just feel like we didn't utilize our speed. We tried to be bigger than them when they were playing stronger than us for too many quarters, right? We were
Yeah.
bigger than them, and it didn't matter. It didn't work. We didn't overcome the power in which they were bringing the pass rush and the run defense. So I think that when you're having a team that's going to load the box like that and the offensive line isn't ready for it, the zone blitz had us lost. Rasheed Miller quite literally didn't know where his blitzer was coming from every single time they ran the zone blitz, right? We handled the all out blitz better in the third quarter, but the zone
Yeah.
blitz was really, really scary to watch. How the first 2 seconds of the snap, everything's fine, and then somebody comes flying in out of nowhere unmarked. It's
Yeah.
unacceptable. It's unacceptable when you have a running back in pass protection, right? You're leaving a
Yeah.
running back there, and you're still getting caught up, and you're still getting forced out of the pocket. That was unacceptable. But I know, well, granted, I don't know. I haven't seen it. I've seen enough over these last 2 years to know Jeff Brom has the plays in his playbook to get around, and he wasn't doing it. And he wasn't doing it. To me personally, that's unacceptable.
Yeah.
I think when you know you've got the athleticism advantage, go take advantage of that however you need to. And we just didn't do that. And fortunately for us, JMU didn't have the precision, didn't have the accuracy, and
Yeah.
didn't capitalize on their chances to come and make it an issue.
I mean, JMU just had a trash offense, and that's what it came down to. They had a
Period.
trash offense, and there was no way in the world that was going to be able to generate enough points to beat us.
And that point right there, Haven, is why these JMU people talking about we knew we won the game, we knew we were better, bro. You had one drive the whole game where you went the length of the field. You can't
Barnett
say you thought you were better when you had one scoring drive.
Barnett threw 4 passes that should have been picked off. 4 that should have been in Louisville hands going the other way. And he
I
got
mean,
lucky all 4 times.
Yeah.
he can't throw the ball. The other guy,
Sluka can't throw the ball.
Luka can't throw the ball. All that he can do is run. As soon as he came in, you know what he's going to do. He was just going to run the ball. They just don't have
Their
an
offense sucks.
offense.
You can say it. Yeah, their offense sucks. Their offense is
Except
Their
now,
terrible.
offensive line
they
wasn't good either.
Hey, and Roman, we talked about that. Like everything, and I want to pat you on the back, and I'm going to pat me on the back because everything, as far as our scouting from the Weber State game, from watching that about that JMU offense, was absolutely spot on.
100%.
Absolutely spot on. Like everything we saw, I knew they wouldn't be able to move the ball consistently. And what did I say? I said if Louisville's defense can just play solid, everybody be in position, be where you're supposed to be, this JMU team will not move the ball.
They
And
scored
that's
less than
literally
I
what we saw.
projected. You know,
Yeah,
it's funny how like even through our mishaps on our offensive end, it's easy to have this negative mindset on the game. They scored
yeah,
two scores.
yeah,
You know, our defense took the ball and scored on them. You know what I mean?
yeah.
We
Yeah,
quite literally, even through our not being able to run the ball with the game breaking plays, we put up 28 points in 22 minutes. You put up 14 points in 37 minutes of possession. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
We were really better on both sides of the ball, if I'm being
We were
honest.
absolutely
And
better
we
on both
still
sides of
played
the
a
ball.
terrible game.
We played
it
it.
still
So
won.
We played a D plus C minus game and still won. And it wasn't that close. And that's why all of this whining and crying that they've been doing, and we'll
we
touch on
lost
that a
that
little bit
game.
more.
They didn't
That
win
all that,
this.
you
But
know,
this is just like the last time we played JMU. The same thing happened. We went in tied at halftime and then scored 24 unanswered points.
yeah.
Same
And
thing.
honestly, we would have shut them out in the first half if Jeff Brown punts that ball instead of going for it on your own 38, 39-yard line. If we punt that ball and just, I know he was frustrated because we should have gotten the first down, but punt the ball, trust your defense. And I understand early in the season, especially because Brom is trying to figure out what we have defensively. Maybe that, you know, maybe that
Yeah.
PTSD from last year made motivated him to
Yeah,
go
it
for it.
did. The man tried to get mad at my man Ron English on the sideline. Ron
What do you
English had to
think
point to
about
the
that?
scoreboard. He had to point to the scoreboard like, "Hey, bro, they ain't scoring, but where's like your 30 points a game? I did. We got them. Where's your 30 points a game? Just saying.
Yeah.
Hey, the
My
defense.
side scored some of them points up there, is what he
Yeah, I
was
mean,
saying.
some of those points
But
are
if I'm
mine.
being honest, fellas, I don't want to give Ron English too many props here, because
What's a
what
trash ass offense?
our defensive line took advantage of them, and they had two quarterbacks who can't throw. So until we got a quarterback who can run and throw, I'm not going to give Ron that level of props yet. What we did on that defensive line was absolutely unreal, and that's what should be happening against the JMU side.
But
Now
the
on the
thing,
flip
I'll
side,
no, go
offensive
ahead.
line shouldn't be
Yeah,
getting handled like that. Even if they do have a couple guys who are probably power four caliber guys on their defensive line, we should not have been getting rocked like that every single time. And Miller's got to be better. Miller has to be, even if the play call isn't set up for you to thrive, if it isn't set up for you to be prepared for having to run out of the pocket with this kind of pressure, you clearly have to see what's happening with your offensive line by that second quarter. Like you guys said, you were talking about it right when I joined in here. Where's the audibles at the line?
right. Yeah,
Yeah,
Miller has zero confidence to go out there and make calls at the line like that. That's one spot where I feel like he's just not to that level of comfort. That's why he's still having to look over to the side to get checks from the side, from the sideline. Is because he's just not there yet. But I think that's what you work on. I was saying it before you joined, Roman, that to me, this Louisville schedule almost sets up like a preseason, where like an NFL preseason, where you're getting these games where you don't necessarily have to have your A or even B effort to win, which gives a team an opportunity to work on their deficiencies against live opponents. Maybe not opponents that are going to be able to take full advantage of you, but at least it's going to give you game speed reps so you can figure out where you need to get better. And I think from that standpoint,
it
James
worked.
Madison was perfect.
That's
It was
perfect. I mean,
perfect.
it was a perfect opponent because they pointed out some very glaring holes
Yeah,
in our offensive game plan.
yeah, agreed. So all right, so like that that'll move me on to the next point, fellas. So now that Louisville is they're 2-0, they got through it. We're on to this bye week. You're going to be able to sit back and watch and see what JMU does in their game over the weekend. I can't remember who they play. They don't play Liberty. They play um, somebody decent, but they get to go on and we get to watch the rest of college football. I think Texas has another big game this weekend, but if you're Jeff Brom and you're getting ready to go into this bye week for Louisville, what are you focusing on? Are you going to like? Is this going to be? Is this more of a coaching staff needs to look themselves in the eye? Is it player related? Like, what are you all wanting the team to focus on over the bye week?
TJ Capers.
Fair, fair. I mean,
Not to
with
be that
Stanquan Clark going
bluntly
down,
specific,
yeah,
but yeah, with Stan Kwan going down, our vocal leader, our leader by example, TJ Quinn has to step up. There's the question marks on TJ Quinn's pass protection, right? We know what he can do in the run game. We know what he can do in the short passing game, even in the intermediate passing game and on, he can tend to get a little bit lost, right? And on top of that, like TJ Capers has the body type and the athleticism style to be that perfect kind of pass protection linebacker. And it's time for him to step up. It's that time. That's one thing. That's an emphasis. Trevon Sylvester, can we get you right? Is he going to get healthy
yeah,
these next 2 weeks? That's another thing I'm looking at. But to be more specific, fellas, I
yeah,
want to play faster. I want to play faster. I want to have more runs to the outside, quick up tempo snaps to get Isaac Brown and get Duke Watson the ball going outside quickly. I want to see some direct snap stuff.
yeah.
If it's 4th and 2, 4th and 1, direct snap it to Keywan Brown. Don't even throw Miller out there unless Miller's the design run. Just direct snap it to Keywan. That's the power back who's got the speed as well to get out of those little pockets that if a gap closes up on him real quick, he's got the speed to get out of that, but also has the strength if he gets touched before he finds the gap, he can kind of avoid the tackles as well. With the speed, with the athleticism we have, we should be getting every single 4th and 2 and 4th and 1, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1. That's we should not be getting stopped on those, even if our offensive line isn't good. Right now, they're not. Now you've got proof they're not. Go change, add the plays you need to add to the playbook to avoid when the box is loaded and not being able to run forward. You want to run the ball this much? Cool. Find a way to run it, and it's because it's not going to be straight. That's kind of where I'm at. The defense hasn't been tested, fellas. The secondary, I should say. The secondary hasn't been tested. So I just want them to stay ready, stay healthy, and stay ready.
Okay. Hey,
Hmm.
Haven, what do you want to see?
I want to see work on the O line and work on your max protect, work on different packages. I want to see finally scheme for Colin Lacey's strengths. Um, I want to see Colin Lacey in the slot catching quick slants or catching the ball in space and see what he can do once he catches the ball in space. I want to figure out how to get him the ball in space. Figure out how to get downfield a little bit more, how to open up a downfield passing game. Uh, and those are the things I really want to see. I also want to see work with the tight ends more.
Yeah, yeah.
Put the tight ends more in offense, as well as work with the fullback to kind of get some extra blocking out there, especially as he's trying to run off tackle or outside, so you can really take advantage of Isaac Brown's speed, Keywan Brown's speed, and Duke Watson's speed. Those are the kind of things on offense perspective I would work on a defense perspective. Since you lost, the heart and soul of your linebacking core there with Stanwan Clark, um, see, what other different blitz packages you can run with. I know they like a lot of 4-2-5. Uh, Maybe look at a 4-3 as well to kind of give you an extra linebacker there in space to kind of help you cover, especially when you go against Pittsburgh. So I know that they like to use a lot of tight ends, things of that nature. So maybe
Mhm.
switch from a 4-2-5 to a 4-3-4 and see what that works there and getting some helping linebacking core. Those type of things I want to see them work on in this bye week. That's a lot to work on, but I think they can do it.
Hey, they got time. So for me, I think that the first thing is this. Jeff Brom, that little, Madden 95 traditional offense, whatever that was that you was trying to run, you need to throw that whole game plan in the trash can and understand what type of team you have. Like to me, Duke Watson nor Isaac Brown, even though they can be successful in kind of, trying to run power, that's not taking advantage of their skill set. To me, you having a team that is elite in working in space. When you get Duke into space, he's electric. When you get Isaac into space, he's electric. When you get Colin Lacey into space, he's electric. I think that Trayshawn Hurry has the ability to be electric in space. Same with Chris Bell, even though he's a bigger guy. Chris Bell can catch the ball and make a move and get up the field and get, more yards. Even what we saw, from our tight ends, I think that those guys, when they get the ball and get it in space, they can make things happen. This is not a traditional power team. You don't have power offensive linemen. You don't have power running backs. All of our running backs are 185 pounds or lighter. You don't have big burly guys. You're not playing. I mean, I know he played a little bit with the fullback in week one. We really didn't see the fullback much in week two. If you're not going to play with those types of players, like, you're not that's not what this team is built for. You don't have a Michael Bush back there running the football. You don't have a 220, 230-pound sledgehammer running back. That's just not the way this team was built. So, and I said it on Saturday on Wake Up 502, I was very much discouraged with the fact that Jeff Brom thought that that's the type of personnel that he had. It didn't make any sense what he was trying to do. So my biggest hope is that he goes back, he looks at what he did in that game and why it didn't work, and he comes to the realization that I need to come up with a scheme that magnifies and really takes advantage of these guys' skill sets, and that to me is space creation, misdirection. Fake like we're gonna go one way and throw a screen back the other way. Let's
Shift the
shift the
line.
line. Let's
Yes.
roll out. Let's do some things to take advantage of these guys, because this whole, I'm just gonna hand it off tackle to Isaac and let him try to power through 4 and 5 defenders is ridiculous. Like, that's not,
Mm-mm. It's not going to
like,
work.
to me, you go and you see the way Florida used the Percy Harvin. You go see the way, the Philadelphia Eagles used to employ Darren Sproles. Anything that the teams did to get small backs or fast backs out into space, those are the types of things that you really need to find a way to get into your playbook. So that's going to be my biggest thing for the defense. um, Definitely figuring out what they're going to do with Stanquan. I actually think, Haven, the fact that Louisville runs a 4-2-5 is better because you already only play two linebackers. So if you have, TJ Capers basically come in there and run Stanquan's role, um, you should be okay. Like, you may not be great, but like I've said all year long, I don't necessarily think this is the most difficult schedule in the world. So I think Louisville should be okay. And if the defense can continue, the defense is playing well enough right now, Roman. They should win no less than 10 games. This Louisville defense through 2 games has shown me that they at least look comfortable. We don't have a bunch of the glaring weaknesses. So if they can continue to play at this level, now it's all about just getting the offense to consistently executing at the level that you expect the Jeff Brom offense to do. But to me, those are the
I,
biggest things.
I say the defensive line's playing at an extremely
Yes.
high level. The rest of the defense is
Yeah.
playing
Well,
good.
well,
I'll go
to
good.
me, it's just the communication. Like that. That was the biggest thing I wanted to see was
Yeah.
how the safeties and safeties and cornerbacks communicated, at the third level, and then linebackers when they're in pass coverage getting to the proper depth, and when they're coming in run fits, are the safeties coming in and filling behind them properly, and all those things from a communication standpoint, I've loved. Like, nobody's looked lost defensively, and as long as nobody looks lost, I'm good with it. Yes, did the safety get caught looking
Yeah.
in the backfield on the wide receiver pass? Yes, that happens to anybody. But to me, overall,
Holloway had the
where he's
moment where he's
clapping and
clapping at somebody, not
trips
ready
and
for the
falls,
play.
you know,
Yeah, I think Jabari Matt got burned one time that it didn't
yeah.
the pass
But that's
didn't
that's
there was
gonna
no
happen.
target
That's
on the play,
football.
but he
Like, that's
yeah.
gonna happen. But to me, overall, they look like a defense that is consistent. My son's got snacks over here that are showing me through the window. He knows I like snacks, whatever it is. It smells good. But like those things, I'm excited about, and I think they're in a great spot. So to me, I think Louisville's in a good place. That's why I said I was disappointed with Jeff Brom and his game plan, but I was also encouraged by what the defense showed me. And we already knew that Chris Bell and Isaac Brown was that man. So them coming out there and making those plays, I expect it. I expect Isaac. I don't know if you all agree with me. I expect Isaac to house one every game. Like
Oh
to
yeah.
me, he's gonna
Oh
get one
yeah.
every game. Like
It's an expectation now. I expect him to have it, maybe not house one. I expect a 20 to 30 yard rush every game, which might not always lead to a touchdown, but I expect him to break loose like that at least once every
yeah.
single game.
And
This game was weird because he didn't get anywhere near that and
boom.
then breaks for 78.
Hey,
That's what he does. All he
two
needs
games, two 100-yard performances.
once he finds that crease,
And Heisman candidate.
that's all he needs is that crease.
So Roman, hey,
But fellas, yeah, the offensive line's the emphasis this week. Get that offensive line right. Add some creativity to the offensive line and to the play calling to where you don't need to rely on your offensive line to give you the
yeah,
time of day. Play faster, shift, get everybody moving right to where you make the quick decisions. Little shuffle passes. I haven't seen. I'm not mad at a little shuffle pass into a Jaleel Skinner who's
yeah,
unmarked. Get the line moving, get everybody moving, get the defenses moving. Because
yeah.
guess what? More times than not, we're gonna have the speed advantage or the
Space
size advantage
creation,
in
man.
most
If you can
positions.
get
So,
these guys in space, they can all be dynamic. In my personal opinion, I think that's the biggest
yeah,
advantage of this team. But hey, Roman, I know it's about time for us to announce our Wake Up 502 That Boy's Good Player of the Week award for week 2. Can you get the have the graphic? Can you get the graphic to pop up on there that I sent out to you fellas, or will you be able to do that from your position, or will you not? I know you may not.
yeah. Let me see what I
Yeah,
can
see
do
see if
here.
you can get that up there. But
Roman has
Haven,
become the master producer.
absolutely, he's produces all the time. So all the stuff he does for Mike Rutherford, he can produce on Wake Up 502 After Dark. But I mean, Haven, just kind of your last thoughts on the JMU stuff. Like, what do you take away from all this whining and crying, all this stuff that I saw the coach whining about penalties
I mean,
on
you
his
know what?
coach's call. Like,
I I understand where they're coming from. I get it. I don't
we've
begrudge
never done
them.
that, Haven. We never whine like that.
You know what? I do not begrudge them for whining. But when you have a team that is more talented than you down, or you have opportunity to put them away, you put them away. You got to capitalize. You didn't capitalize. That's on you, bruh. That's on you. You didn't capitalize. You
Yeah,
had your chance. We gift wrapped you literally like 2 scores, and you turned them down. We were like, what else? That's
literally.
on you. That's on your team. Good teams capitalize on that.
Yeah, yeah. No,
It is what it is.
I agree.
But
Like
as
all
far as
that.
I'm concerned, I'm just like, I'm glad we played JMU. They showed us a lot of our weaknesses. Their coach did an excellent job of game planning for this team for Louisville, and he's going to give us a lot of stuff on the film to work on. I understand Jeff maybe not wanting to show everything you can do and keep a conservative game plan. Look, everybody knows you're ultra imaginative coach. Everybody knows you're hyper aggressive. Everybody knows that you like your trickerations, things of that nature. Dude, don't hide it. Just do it. Because you need to practice. I
Yeah,
mean, you need to practice. I don't want you to get in a spot where you've been playing quote unquote possum for 3 weeks and then you try to jump in Pittsburgh and show all this movement and guys running left and right and all this other stuff. We haven't done a game before and you wind up throwing a pick because you've never done a live game situation before. You got time to do it now. Just do it. It's okay.
No, I agree. I mean, like to me, like you said, like you've got to go out there and you got to take advantage. But all that whining and crying and talking about we should have made it and we should have had it and we had it won, all that sounds stupid. Like I understand that like the problem is this: they put so much hype into this, and they put so much hype into oh, we've beaten two ACC teams 2 years in a row. This is going to be the third year. They put their whole season into
Because
this.
they beat two bum ass ACC teams. That's why North Carolina doesn't count. North Carolina came out, had one awesome drive, looked unstoppable, and then got the brakes beat off of them for the next 3 and 3/4 quarters.
All right,
Yeah,
fellas, are you guys ready to announce our That Boy's Good Player of the Week?
absolutely. Yeah,
Who
let's
is it?
go. Let's go ahead and show the people.
And without further ado, there you go, Mr. Clev Lubin.
Yes, sir. Clev Lubin, congratulations. You are the week two Wake Up 502. That boy good player of the week. Congratulations. Like 10 tackles, 7 solo tackles, 1.5 sacks, a forced fumble that led to a defensive touchdown. Like, fellas, I felt that, Isaac Brown being the inaugural and the initial winner was well deserved, and I think that Clev Lubin, um, I feel like he could have won it in week one. We had discussions about him winning it in week one. I think he's very deserving of it, and I didn't think that Louisville could find a guy that I would say would even come close to replacing Ashton Gelati. But
And they found him.
Clef has been good. Like he's been really good.
If he starts to do this against some ACC level opponent, I might have to put him in that kind of Ashton Gelati category in that tier. He might be right there on par with what Gelati is as a talent at this level.
I mean, a
Yeah,
defensive end haven getting 10 tackles.
it's crazy.
That's wild.
Crazy.
He could play linebacker or DN. He could do either one.
Yeah, yeah. And to me, the biggest thing I like about it, and one of the things where I think that I didn't like the way they used Ashton,
Ashton,
is that they try to do a lot of trying to move him all around and
they
moving him
got
to
too cute.
defensive tackle. Yes, they were doing too much instead of letting him stay on the edge and just letting him eat, from the edge. And this year they have their two big guys inside. That they have the Garrard. That they have your nose tackle, D tackles inside, and they're pretty much letting those guys stay inside, and you're allowing a Clev, Wesley Bailey, and the rest of those guys on the perimeter to stay out there and do what they do best. And Clev Lubin is absolutely eating. So
And I think this is where Ron English learned from last year with
yes,
trying to move Ashton Jolly around. Sometimes you got to let your defensive end be a defensive end and let them eat. And that's what they're doing. Keeping it simple, letting them eat.
absolutely. So yeah, so congratulations, Clev Lubin. Big round of applause for week two and the second award given out for the That Boy Good Player of the Week. So awesome job there. But fellas, I know we've been rolling for a little bit. We're gonna get out of here pretty soon. But I gotta ask you all before we get up out of here and let the people go on that Tuesday night. Um, what did y'all think about the Ravens game? I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I have not let that go yet.
You know
And
what, Rashawn, like you and I tweeted about this
uh,
during the game and texted, and I told you that I hope they put it away because I never felt comfortable. I never felt like they were in complete control of the game.
oh,
I did.
I felt they were in complete control, but the
I
problem
didn't.
is what we've seen from the Ravens over and over again.
And
They
that's
get
why I didn't
too
feel
they
confident they
get
were in
too
complete
damn
control of the game.
happy. We start seeing guys wanting to smile for the camera, and they start trying to autograph and winking to the crowd and doing all this stuff, and it's still 5 minutes left in the third quarter.
The- the-
Like
the- I'm like, they do this every year, right? They take their foot off the gas. They start playing prevent defense. They
They
change
play
their
scared.
coverages.
They
They
they played
played
Conservative
scared.
offense,
After the
conservative
Derrick
offense.
Henry fumble, they got super scared.
instead of playing to win, they played not to lose.
Yes.
I would have went
Like,
for it on that fourth down, fellas.
oh, absolutely. I
You
would have
couldn't
left the
stop a
ball in Lamar's
nosebleed that
hands.
fourth quarter.
Yeah.
You couldn't stop a nosebleed that fourth quarter.
Hey, and
No,
I'm gonna tell you what, man, and I say this could the decision making around Lamar, the most unfortunate. This shit's like a Greek tragedy, but the decision making around Lamar Jackson since he's been with Baltimore, the decision making to not go out there and get him the weapons he needed while he was still on his rookie contract, the decision that they made to get rid of Wink Martindale for pretty much no reason at all and keep um, that damn offensive coordinator whose name escapes me at the moment. 2 or 3 years longer than what Greg Roman. They kept Greg Roman longer than they should have. They got rid of Wink Martindale when he was actually one of the best defensive coordinators in football. And then the decision to hire Zach Orr and make him the defensive coordinator 2 years ago. Zach Orr had never been a defensive coordinator. He had only been a position coach. And you took a guy who was a position coach and made him the defensive coordinator for a team that's ready to win a Super Bowl
Some of the best personnel on one defensive
and
side in the whole league.
has some of the best personnel literally
I
out there.
mean they
Louisville
just.
probably has the best defensive roster in Louisville. Baltimore probably has the best defensive roster in football. But you have a guy who's never been a defensive coordinator.
I
I
mean,
I don't understand that.
even with that being said, I've laid this defeat at the feet of John Harbaugh because he's been the one consistent every time this happens, and it happens the same way every time. They get a big lead, go in the fourth quarter, and then they play ultra conservative and
I
dial
mean,
it
but
back.
Haven, they score 40 points. Like with the defensive personnel you have, that should be enough to win. To me, your defense, especially by what you're paying them, and but because of that roster, you should not be giving up 41 points, not even close.
I
You
mean,
have
like here's
Derrick
the thing.
Henry and Lamar Jackson. You shouldn't even be giving the ball back if you don't want to.
Yeah. Like it just
No,
and honestly, Harbaugh's the guy who decided to hire Zach Orr because he's not going to hire a defensive coordinator he doesn't want. So
no.
he
I
made the
mean,
decision to do that as well.
that's on him. It's like the 3 minutes to go in the game. They're running the ball. They're Bill short 9-man front. You don't bring in any more extra offensive linemen. You don't bring in a fullback. You don't try and spread them out. You run the same from the shotgun handoff play into a 9-man front and wonder why you get stuffed three
I just
times in a
don't
row.
understand that.
It
I don't
makes no sense.
and every
No
time that
sense.
they would play fake and Lamar would keep it, the pass was wide open and he got it
Mhm.
every time. It did not make any sense. Like you said, Haven, they got super scared. I know it's just week one, it's the first game. I don't know if you all saw this, but Bleacher Report put out their quarterback grades for week one of the NFL season. And the fact that Bleacher Report gives Lamar, who had a 144 QBR and a 94 passer rating, which was the best in the NFL week one. For them to give Lamar an A minus while they gave whack ass Dak Prescott an A is trolling of the highest levels. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Like,
Dak
come
is a
on.
bum.
Didn't make any
Like,
Well, you know
sense.
what? You know
and
what?
the
I'm gonna tell you.
Cowboys lost. The Cowboys lost
Cowboys lost. That's
just like
They
the
did.
Ravens did. You're gonna give Dak an A and Lamar an A
You know,
minus.
I'm gonna
They're
say
doing that for
this.
clicks, man.
You know,
Come on.
Dak actually played a decent game, but the problem is the second highest paid player on the team, C.D. Lamb, dropped 4 wide open passes. You can't have your star
How'd you
wide
like that,
receiver,
Haven?
huh?
How'd you like that, Haven?
It's a
Just
Cowboys. That's what we do. That's what we
what?
do.
Hey, what about that Monday night meltdown? Like Chicago out there, they did the same thing that the Ravens did, going out there smiling and cheesing for the camera at the end of the third quarter, acting like the game was over. And
Apparently, it wasn't.
next thing you know, JJ McCarthy's looking like John Elway.
Just carving them up.
Oh, that's
But
embarrassing.
it's the Bears. Like nobody expects the Bears to do anything. So it's
It's
who cares? It's the Bears.
Hey, but look, Card Nation. I'm gonna tell y'all everything. All the Louisville fans and even the Kentucky fans and JMU fans that I hate watching right now. Louisville don't have a game this weekend, so all y'all go out, enjoy watching football. You don't have to worry about your team losing. Enjoy the
No,
NFL.
enjoy watching Kentucky as they try to figure out how to throw the forward pass in 2025.
Oh gosh. That Ole Miss game. Hey, but you know what though? UK is probably the greatest team at trolling their own fans because they kept it close with Ole Miss, and they gave their fans hope that they had a chance just to pull it away from them at the last second. I was at a sports bar in Frankfurt watching the game. Shout out to Wings and Rings. If you haven't been there, very good spot. The onion rings
I
are
mean,
fire. But
Kentucky for some reason
support Kentucky fans.
Kentucky plays Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss close regardless, and
I mean,
this be the only game SEC that they're close in.
hey, but I'm gonna tell you what, I'm impressed by that running back. That running back number 3 for Kentucky, he's nice. He,
I
He's a
mean,
dog.
but come on,
he
when has Kentucky like
he's
really
nice.
not had a good running back?
Yeah,
Like
yeah. No, that's true.
honestly, Kentucky
I,
always has good running. Kentucky's lone problem has always been they've never had a trigger man. Like
yeah,
they've always had good wide receivers, they've always had good running backs, and they usually have a decent defense. The only thing Kentucky's never had since Stoops has been there is somebody actually throw the damn ball,
that's fair.
and it cost them every time.
Will
But
Levis
against
could a little bit, I guess, but
I mean, Calzada, he throw, he gets hurt and tries to throw the ball down the field. Now his shoulder's not working, so then you get Roman's favorite guy, Cutter, in the game, and
come
and
on, Cutter.
it's Cooter.
and yeah. And that just didn't work out either. Man, that might be a better name for him there, Haven. But
that's a
hey,
that's a
hey, look,
YouTube
before
only name there.
Roman, look, I'm gonna give you the last word. Like, you going under the knife tomorrow. Tell me how you feeling. Are you nervous? Are you ready for this? This is gonna take. This is ACL surgery, so brother,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to do a lot of physical therapy and training to get back. Have you prepared yourself mentally? What are you feeling like now that the day is upcoming tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling obviously it's I'm going into a setting I've never gone into, so that's just what's a little bit nerve wracking. Like, but at the same time, I don't have to perform. I don't have to do anything. I just gotta
Yeah,
make sure
you got
I'm
to there and go to sleep.
not eating anything solid after midnight tonight, and that's about it, right? Yeah, I'm gonna go to sleep and wake up, and it's all gonna be done. So it
Yeah,
is a little bit nerve wracking. Just I've never been under anesthesia like that. They're
yeah.
telling me they're giving me a cadaver ligament. My girlfriend's convinced me that's okay. I'm over here like, whoa, you
You're
giving me
gonna
a
have a
dead
haunted
person
knee.
stuff,
You're
giving
gonna
me
have a
some dead
haunted
person
knee.
stuff. How's it gonna just be alive in my knee? But apparently ligaments aren't a living thing, whatever. So um I'm all good. I'm down there with Dr. Caborn, the head U of L orthopedic surgeon for knees. Probably who did Case and Priors if he did it here. He does all of the athletes at U of L. Any knee
Yeah,
stuff. This is the guy. So I've got a good team down there. It's gonna be early. I'm just ready to get on to this rehab pathway and get back out there to playing basketball and playing soccer with my guys. Rashawn, I mean, watching you and your son in there going at it on the short half court. That short half court right there, that's my cup of tea right there. A guy
yeah,
like me who likes to,
yeah,
to
yeah,
get up and
yeah. You
down.
got to
And
see a little bit of it on Sunday.
so yeah, you were doing the point the point centering that you do,
Yes,
so
sir.
playing top of the key, directing things. It made me want to fast forward 6 months and have a good knee and come back out there and play with you guys. But it's a process. I'm sure there's going to be other learning things for me to there's going to be other learning experiences within this, right? Relearning patience within my own individual self, probably some internal soul searching I'm going to have to do and be able to
Yeah,
be content in my stillness and reading books and, get better at doing sports
Uh,
media as well.
I will tell you this. One, the first 2 days are going to suck.
Yeah. I called off work for the day
Yes,
of because it's outpatient. So
it's
I leave that day. And
no,
they,
you will,
fellas, they
and
start
it's
me rehab the next day, 10 a.m.
they do, and I'm going to tell
wow.
you, it hurts. The first 2 days are the worst. The pain is going to be unreal the first 2 days, and then when they're going to try to get your knee to bend. They're going to try to get your knee to flex.
Yeah.
Heyman,
and
Yeah.
you're
it's
doing
gonna
a
that.
wonderful job of giving Roman confidence as he goes into this.
Yeah, that's
But
what they're
I'm
saying. They're saying it's going to be tough. I've heard the same
I'm
thing though. That first
yeah,
24 to 48 hours
it's
is
gonna
really
suck
bad.
ass, and then it's gonna get much better after that. The hardest thing about um when you get into rehab, especially the first week or so, is trusting yourself that you can actually bend the knee as far as you as they think that they tell you can bend the knee. Because
Yeah.
when they do the surgery, what they don't tell you until later is that once the surgery's done to test it out, they bend your knee like all the way back a couple of times
While I'm
and move
still
it
under.
around
Roman,
to make sure like it's tight and it's supposed to be before they sew you back up.
No wonder it hurts so bad the next 2 days. Well,
Yes,
jeez.
yes, yes. They actually bend your knee. They actually take it from straight. They bend it like this.
I
They
did
move it
not know
around,
that.
and they do it like that a couple of times to make sure that the tendon is tight.
Yeah,
That
I'm
you
gonna
have
have
the
to pull that
flexibility.
anesthesiologist to the side, let him know, hey, make sure
yeah,
I'm
give me a
good
little
and out
something
for this.
extra.
I don't want to feel any of this.
So just
Oh,
so
you
that's
won't
what
feel any
happens.
of it. Trust me.
They sew you back up. They'll wrap you back up. Put the brace on there. You won't move your knee for a little bit. You go to rehab, and literally within like 3 4 months, you should not less than that. About like 2 to 3 months,
Two to
you
three
should have
months, I'll
about
be.
90 degrees,
Yeah.
90 to 100 degrees inflection, and yeah, you'd be surprised at how once that happens, how quickly, boom, it gets going.
Yep. I'm
Yeah.
ready to, get on with it. They say you could, some people's knees come back stronger after something like this. So
Oh yeah.
that's
Yeah.
my goal. I got the insurance, obviously, like you guys know. So all settled. Not gonna have to go into debt to make this happen, which is really the
Oh,
kind of
that's
the
beautiful.
priority in a way.
Yeah,
I want to make
absolutely.
sure when I'm your age, when you're all's age, I can still go out there and hoop like you do,
Uh,
Rashawn.
There you go.
That's my main desire is that I'm still able to move comfortably in my later adult life,
Yes, sir.
athletically. But
So the
yeah,
biggest thing
fellas,
is, man, you gotta just attack the rehab. Don't take any shortcuts. Don't take any time off. Attack that rehab, man, because
no
that's gonna be
shorts.
that's gonna be what makes sure that you get all the way back. Is that you
yeah,
got it's gonna suck. It's gonna be hard. If you need anything, brother, you make sure you hit me up. You know what I'm
we'll
saying?
do,
And
we'll
just
do.
to yeah,
I'll
and
be
just
there
to
for
let you
you.
know, if
Absolutely.
if they did if they do research like I think they'll do, where they'll use like your thigh tendon to
No, they're
replace it.
using a cadaver
No, they're
tendon.
using
Cadaver.
cadaver. They're using
Okay.
a cadaver
Yeah.
So
tendon.
they use a cadaver tendon. Are they going to place the one on the side for stability? Because I know some doctors place like an extra tendon on the side.
No, they're gonna do bone marrow. They're gonna
But
inject bone marrow into the side because my apparently
MCL.
my MCL. Well, no, my maybe my MCL or my meniscus. They saw that I had like time damage. Like it was weaker just from playing
Okay.
sports over time. Like I was
Yeah.
D Wade, like a D Wade type of a knee. But apparently that's something that they can kind of like
They can.
re-strengthen
Oh,
basically.
Yeah.
good,
So
good.
Okay.
they're gonna
Cool.
re-strengthen that for me, my MCL, I believe. And I didn't have any meniscus tear or meniscus issues at all, so
Cool.
that's all good.
So I tell you. So once you get it going, once you get rehab, your knee will be stronger probably than it was when it was new.
Right, yeah, right before I tore it because it was
Yeah.
had
But
some years
hey,
of
hey, all I'm gonna tell you,
deterioration and
Roman,
stuff.
no more damn chase down blocks, please. No more
No,
chase
no
down
more
blocks.
chase down blocks. I'm not LeBron James. I don't need to be chase down
Let's
blocking in pickup
just
games that
give up
have
the yeah, give
no
up the layup.
reward for winning the game at all. And I'm trying to go save points, But when you turn the ball over, you want to go get it back.
You want to go make it up.
I
Absolutely,
need to
no,
just
I
let
get
that
it.
stuff go
I
going
get
forward.
it.
I'm gonna be a
Yeah,
below the rim player going forward. So
no, it's all good. But hey, Roman, prayers up, brother.
appreciate
Uh,
it, guys.
yeah, absolutely. I just want to thank everybody for joining. Thank you for watching the show. Remember to tune in every Saturday morning. Wake Up 502 comes to you 9 to 11 a.m. Myself, Haven Harrington. Roman probably won't be there. He'll be on the men, but hopefully, maybe we can get you to call in, Roman,
Well,
on
I'm
there.
supposed to do my first play by play color
Okay.
analyzing on Saturday at
Oh,
Midway
nice.
College. To get there on time, I'd have to leave the show halfway through. So I was thinking maybe, I mean, I'm going to be in the passenger seat anyway. I
Yeah,
figured
yeah.
I'll call into the show Saturday.
No, that'll be
Good deal.
perfect.
Good
That'll
deal.
be perfect. So call in. You can give us an update on how everything's going on. So we'll,
Great.
we'll just do that. But thanks everybody. Make sure you like, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Go to wakeup502.com. We have everything there. kysports.tv. Is that correct?
That's it.
Haven?
KYSports.tv, baby.
Is now broadcasting all our stuff there. So make sure you check out all those good folks there. So this is Raashaan Myers for Haven Harrington, Roman Kelly, and like we always say, without struggle,
There is no progress.
peace, y'all. Have a good night. Go Cards.